Hi, everybody. I'm Howie Epstein from the University of Virginia Arctic Research Center. The title of my talk is Environmental Sensing in Utqiagvik, Alaska. The more detailed title of our project is Understanding the Changing Natural Built Landscape in an Arctic Community, an Integrated Sensor Network. The goals of our project are to understand how urban system components, such as buildings and infrastructure, interact with the surrounding air, ground, and water conditions in an Arctic community, to generate environmental design analyses and design guidelines to address how current and future management of the built environment in Utqiagvik can be improved, and third, to study how our research team and residents of Utqiagvik communicate and interact across disciplines and cultures to produce knowledge that's useful for the residents of the community and that also informs science and social science. We have a highly interdisciplinary research team, so there are a lot of different opportunities for folks to interact with us in different ways. I'm in the Department of Environmental Sciences at the University of Virginia. Also in the Department of Environmental Sciences are Claire Griffin, who's a postdoctoral research associate, and Mackenzie Nelson and Mirella Shaban are graduate students. From the School of Architecture, we have Lena Cho, who's in the Landscape Architecture group, and Matthew Joel, who's in Architecture. Together, they make up the Arctic Design Group. Marantha Dawkins and Patrick Sardo are graduate students in Architecture. Caitlin Wiley is a social scientist who's a professor in the School of Engineering at the University of Virginia. Luis Felipe Rosada Murillo was an associate researcher in the School of Data Sciences at the University of Virginia, but has since moved to the University of Notre Dame. He is also a social scientist and a data scientist. So he's extremely helpful to our project with regard to its data management and data sovereignty. We also have a variety of different collaborators. We have collaborations with the Cold Regions Research Engineering Laboratory of the Army Corps of Engineers, with the Cold Climate Housing Research Center, which is part of the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. And then local collaborators, we work with the North Slope Borough, with UIC, the Utqiagvik Inupiat Corporation, and also TNHA, the Housing Authority. And finally, our person on the ground consultant in Utqiagvik is Lars Nelson, and his company is called Triben Incorporated. Beginning this past summer and over the next 4 years of the project, we'll be conducting environmental sensing of different forms throughout the town of Utqiagvik. We'll be conducting terrestrial micrometeorological sensing by putting meteorological stations in different locations throughout the community. We will be looking at variables such as air temperature, relative humidity, wind speed and direction, solar radiation, ground temperatures, ground moisture, and snow depth. With this meteorological information, we can look at how the built environment interacts with the local weather conditions to influence permafrost stability and vulnerability. We'll also be conducting aquatic sensing in the various water bodies throughout the community. We'll be looking at chemical and physical properties of the water bodies that are located in different geographies related to the built environment and infrastructure. And we'll also be conducting geophysical surveying. Collaborator CREL, Cold Regions Research Engineering Laboratory, will be conducting electrical resistivity tomography and ground penetrating radar to look at below ground variables such as active layer depth, permafrost presence or absence, and the presence and quantity of ground ice. Knowing these things is extremely important for determining the sustainability of the built and natural environment of this community. We're we're going to be taking measurements in a variety of different locations, including under buildings, nearby buildings, and in the adjacent tundra to Utqiagvik. Finally, we hope to capture several different areas throughout Utqiagvik that are in different locations relative to the coast, relative to adjacent tundra, relative to water bodies, and relative to some of the more dense locations of the built environment. We are intending this project to be extremely collaborative with regard to instrument placement, planning, science, design objectives, working from the beginning through the end of the project with local community residents. My contact information below. Again, I'm Howie Epstein from the Department of Environmental Sciences at the University of Virginia. And there's my email address. And please feel free to contact if you have any questions about our project or you're interested to know more. Thank you.